I am so happy with how this looks for the Rangers. We have a pitcher, Jack Leiter, and he is a dude.
And while I do think his hitting is worse than Derek Jeter, it's not that far off.
You're not mentioning 2006. You can mention the other people, not 2006.
Oh, just because I bought the best soap doesn't mean your room's going to be clean. It just leaves it to where I don't believe that the Canadians had a shot.
I really don't like the Clippers just kind of sending it in when they're like,
Hi, this is Kelly Forbes with the Dallas Stars, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NBA Opinions of the Week. We're starting to get into predictions as the season is just far away. The man that does not have a Jordan Poole Washington Wizard jersey, Austin.
No, I do not, and I don't really know if I'll get one. If he starts playing well, sure, I'll get one. I already have one. John Wall, Bradley Beal, and Kyle Kuzma. Unfortunately, only one of those guys is still on the team, but I'm really deciding between Denny Avdia or Jordan Poole for the next player to get my jersey.
All right. I didn't know he had a Kuzma jersey, but yeah, that's good. And I'm excited about these NBA awards. So we're doing MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Most Improved Player, Sixth Man, and then Coach of the Year.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to double check. Which one do you start with?
Let's do Sixth Man of the Year.
Okay, all right. Mine, this one's tough, but I'm going to go Chris Paul because I think he comes off the bench. I don't know if he starts.
Yeah, I think Chris Paul does start. At least, I think he starts enough games to not be able to get the award because I feel like I know you have to start. You can't start too many games, and I think he'll start. Let's say 40, and that'll be too much for the him to win the award. So I kind of shied away from him, especially because Sixth Man of the Year. Like if he does come off the bench, how much minutes do you think Chris Paul plays? Do you think he plays enough for him to get the stats necessary?
I think he does. I think he'll be playing a lot, but he won't start initially.
Okay. I went with Derek White. I don't think Derek White starts for the Celtics this year, and I think he did start last year. I think he has a resurgent season. I think he has a great year. And yeah, so my Sixth Man of the Year is Derek White.
That's a good pick. Yeah, that's a good pick. I love Derek White. I think he's a fantastic player. Now let's go to Most Improved Player.
This is always the hardest award to predict ever because you never really can decide who's going to take that next step because it can't just be a step. It has to be a leap, really. It has to be who's going to be the next, like we saw Lowry last year, who's going to make that next jump. And it's really hard to do that, especially if you're not in the right situation or you don't have everything going for you. But with my pick, I kind of went away from the norm. I went Jalen Suggs. So I went with a player that I think kind of struggled last year when he did play. But I think the Magic are going to be better this year. You'll see when we get to our playoff or our preseason predictions, you'll see how I predict. Last year, Jalen Suggs only averaged 9.9 points on 42, 33, 72 shooting. But I think this year he'll get back into the groove of things. He was hurt a lot last year. I think he could average 18 points this year and win because he has that talent. The talent is there. That's not what I doubt. I just doubt, can he make that move?
Okay, that's a good pick. I kind of went with the norm. I think it's Mikal Bridges. I think he takes that next step and becomes like a huge star with the Nets.
Okay. What award do you want to go to next?
Let's go Coach of the Year.
So, Coach of the Year, I'll let you go first. I went first in the last one.
Okay. I'm going to go Frank Vogel. I think the Suns play well, so I'm like, he could win it. Yeah, I think it would just come to the playoffs, but I think the Suns are going to get some hype, and so Frank Vogel gets some hype.
Okay, well, sticking with my kind of selection, and The NBA is kind of weird when they do Coach of the Year. It usually is record based. When you wouldn't you say? I
Yeah,
don't. It there's it's rare that a team was bad and then gets good and then they win rookie or Coach of the Year because I would have thought that the Thunder head coach a couple years ago with when they had Chris Paul, nobody expected him to make the playoffs. But I don't believe he won Coach of the Year that year. I don't think he did.
I will double check. Last year was Joe Mazzulla. Um, and was that 2020?
Yeah,
Or
it was
no,
1920.
it was 19. Okay. Yeah, Budenholzer was the winner then. So
Well, that's 1819. 1920 was Nick Nurse. I just looked it up.
okay, Nick Nurse. Okay, gotcha.
But again, that's because of seeds. The last team, okay, is that? Oh no, that's how many times they've won it. Yeah, I guess Tom Thibodeau won in 2020, 2021, getting I think the 4 or 5 seed with the Knicks.
Yeah.
So I'll go with my initial pick. I'm gonna go Jamal Mosley. He is the head
Ooh.
coach for the Magic. I'm starting to believe in the Magic. I think their team with Franz Wagner is going to improve this year. I think Paolo, Franz, Jalen Suggs all take that next step. And if they do that, there's a lot of teams in the East I think could fall out of the playoffs. I'm not fully trusting in the Hawks. I'm not fully trusting in the Heat. I'm obviously not fully trusting in the Wizards. So I think there are spots to be taken there. And I think if the Magic get a 5 seed, I could see him winning Coach of the Year if he gets a 5 seed, wouldn't you?
Yeah, he was. I almost thought about picking Mosley, but I was like, no, I'll go with one of the new coaches, and I think the Suns just get that. But yeah, that's a good pick. And now we just have two left. Let's go Defensive Player of the Year.
So Defensive Player of the Year, this was a tough one because now that we have to remember games played matters. So they have to play. Is it 60 or 60? It's 65.
65.
65.
That will be coming up.
So I'm not going to pick Jaren Jackson because he's not a healthy player. So, but do I really think that Brooke Lopez could keep it up again from last year? No. But I think the Trailblazers will be better. I went Robert Williams.
Ooh, that's a nice one. This is the guy we talked about. That's the guy I chose, and that's Walker Kessler. The Jazz have a history of winning Defensive Player of the Years.
Yeah, Mark Eaton, Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, but Robert Williams is a good one. He'll definitely get a lot of hype with the Trailblazers. Yeah, I don't think Jaren Jackson. Brooke Lopez. I don't. I think just of how good that team is, they may not get him a lot of awards. What do you think?
Yeah, and with Robert Williams, I feel like on the Celtics, because they have a lot of good defenders there, when he was there, Marcus Smart, Al Horford, he couldn't really shine as a defender. But now in Portland, he's the primary defender, right? So I think he will be getting those stats. He'll be getting the steals and blocks necessary to win the award.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna hop into the Rookie of the Year. You talked about 65 games, and this is why Scoot Henderson is my Rookie of the Year winner.
Scoot Henderson's a good one. But I did not go Scoot Henderson. I went Wembanyama. I think he plays enough games. I think he does. I think that he takes care. Uh, if you've watched his videos he does with his trainer, he is he's so flexible for a 7'4" guy. Like he's probably more flexible than I am, and he's 7'4". He just is the way he takes care of his body. I think that he plays 65 games. And can you agree with me here? If Victor Wembanyama plays 65 games, he is almost a lock for Rookie of the Year.
If he plays 65 games, but I don't think he does. I think San Antonio and him kind of take the relaxed approach. I think he's around. So I know I'm taking a risk, but I'm like, I don't think he does it. So that's why I'm going here. But Scoot could also do it. But I think it's the main reason I have Scoot winning is because I don't see Wembanyama reaching the minimum needed to win this award.
Okay, I'll let you go first for MVP.
All right, MVP. I've gone through this many times and it hasn't worked out. Giannis, I almost considered, but I'm like, maybe with Dame, it doesn't really work. So I'm going with Luka Doncic. Maybe this is the year. I know he's got Kyrie, but maybe this is the year Luka finally puts together that MVP type year. What do you think?
I do not have Luka. There's been so many, not necessarily super teams, but also super teams being created. The Suns are the definition of a super team. The Clippers have Russ, have Kawhi, have Paul George. The Bucks now have Dame. The 76ers have Harden and Embiid. If the Nuggets get a top 2 seed in the West, Jokic is MVP. He is. He is MVP. And I think the flack that the league got last year from not giving it to Jokic will be returned this year, and Jokic wins his third. I think he's the best player in the league, clearly. Him and Giannis are up there, but I think Jokic's passing ability puts him over that. And I think Jokic, again, not best season award, most valuable. How can Giannis win most valuable with Dame?
Yeah.
I don't know how he can. How can he win it with Dame? If Dame puts up 26 a game, Giannis can't win MVP. He can't. Like, he can't unless he has the greatest season in NBA history. He cannot be MVP because he's not the most valuable player. The Nuggets without Jokic aren't even scraping the play-in. In Portland with Dame basically could consistently make the play-in. Last year they wouldn't have made the play-in if he played the entire season and not get hurt. So I think that Dame creates the level here. While I think that Giannis and Jokic are probably 1A, 1B, and I still pick Jokic out of that bunch, but you at least have to have one of them at 1 and the other one at 2. But I think the addition of Dame prevents Giannis from winning MVP unless he has the greatest season we have ever seen.
Yeah. I believe that's how you and I went Jokic, Giannis, or maybe Giannis, Jokic.
Yeah, it has to be one of those two ways. And Jokic doesn't have another. He has an all-star level person with Jamal Murray, but he doesn't have another superstar. And that's what both Embiid has with Harden, who led the league in assists last year, and now Dame.
And same thing with Luka. I'm intrigued, but yeah, I'm gonna pick Luka. I think this could be a year. Could be the year.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, that ends it. That's all we got. Let us know what you think. Let me know what you think of my Scoot Henderson pick. That's all we got. Thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.